Welcome to the File-AID MVS Online Selection Criteria Using Global Fields module. Here you will learn how to extend the capabilities of selection criteria by using global fields. Global fields are simply user-defined work areas. They are user-populated and may contain values from fields on the input file or calculated values. Use of global fields allows selection based on conditions in previous records, as well as selection based on counts or accumulated values. In order to use global fields, they must be defined within File-AID, then assigned appropriate values. With these steps complete, the necessary selection criteria may be built using the global fields. A number of examples follow. In the first example, we will compare the Social Security number and credit card number fields and select records where the first three characters of each field are the same, and we will look at two ways to do this. For example 1A, we will compare two character fields on the same record using one global field. We begin at the Edit Entry panel and choose the temporary option for selection criteria. Next, we choose the Global Fields option to define the global field required. We now see the Define Global Field screen and have just completed the definition for the desired global field. The field name must begin with an ampersand, which is followed by 1 to 26 additional characters. The data type is expressed by C or N, and the length of the field is given. For character fields, the maximum is 256 bytes. For numeric fields, the maximum is 31 digits. Enter End or press F3 to continue. We see the Update Complete confirmation message in the upper right corner, and the status indicates the existence of one global field. We next choose the Formatted option to proceed with the selection criteria specification. Next, we access the global area to populate the newly defined global field. Then we go to the Change screen to complete the field population. Since the value will come from an existing field, we use the FF or field-to-field relational operator, which takes us to the field-to-field change criteria screen. Since we are about to specify a value to populate this field, the default Replace Relational Operator already appears on the screen. We select the credit card number and indicate that we want only the first three positions. When we press Enter, we see the replacement value. We then enter End or press F3 to continue. And we see the same information in encoded format here. Again, we can enter End or press F3 to continue. Next, and this is very important, we insert a selection level before proceeding. This allows us to reference the global fields established at the first level. Needing to compare only the first three characters of the Social Security number, we first specify a field mask, which is seen here. At this point, we need to compare the masked field with another field, the global field, so again we use the FF relational operator. We are reminded of the need to enter a relational operator, so we specify the equal operator, Then we select the global field as the comparison field. When we press Enter, we see the comparison value. We then enter END or press F3 to continue. And we see the same information in encoded format here. Again, we can enter END or press F3 to continue. Here, the status shows that 2 formatted selection sets have been added. Again, we can enter END or press F3 to continue. The result shows that 4 records have been selected. Changing to vertically formatted mode, we can see that the matches are as expected. Example 1b will show an alternative method using 2 global fields. Because some of the steps are the same as those shown in example 1a, some of the screen captures, such as those showing entering END or pressing F3, have been omitted. Again, we begin at the Edit Entry panel and choose Temporary Selection Criteria. Then we enter the Global Fields area. This time we define 2 global fields, one to contain the first 3 characters of the credit card number, and the other to contain the first 3 characters of the Social Security number. With the update complete, the status shows the existence of 2 global fields, and we can move to the Formatted Selection Criteria area. We enter the global area, then enter the Change command to populate the new global fields. We enter the FF relational operator for both fields. First, we populate the credit card number field. Then we populate the Social Security number field. We see the encoded replacement values. As before, we insert another selection level which allows us to use the new global fields, which we do by going to the global area. We could choose either field for comparison to the other. Here we have chosen credit card number. We compare the credit card number global field with the Social Security number global field. Again, we see the encoded value. Next, we see that the status shows that 2 selection sets have been added. Completing the selection, we see that the results match those from example 1a. In the second example, we will work with an accumulated amount. The file is sorted in ascending order based on the order amount. We want to select records with the larger order amount values. That is to say, we want to bypass the less valuable orders at the beginning of the file. Here, we will begin selecting records when an accumulated total reaches a set value, $4,500. This value was arbitrarily chosen. We will do this using 1 global field. We begin by entering the global fields definition area. We define 1 global field to contain the accumulated order value. Next, we enter the Formatted Selection Criteria area. Then we go to the Global area and enter the Change area. Since the value will come from other fields, we enter the FF relational operator. The expression we want to build is shown near the bottom of the screen, but it must be built in steps. First, we select the Order Accum global field, then tab over to the Operator column and key in a plus sign, then press Enter. The partial expression appears to the upper left, prefixed by Calc. We now complete the expression by selecting the Order Amount field and pressing Enter. The expression is now complete, so we enter End or press F3 to continue. As before, we see the expression in encoded format, and we enter End or press F3 to continue. We insert another selection level, then go to the global area. Recall that we want to begin selecting records when the accumulated total is greater than $4,500. We enter the greater than operator, then the value 4,500. Note how the value is entered, 450000. This is because global fields do not support decimal points. With the completion of this entry, the criteria are ready to apply. We see that the first 11 records were not selected. Looking at the entire file for verification, we see that the total for the first 11 records comes in under the limit, and with the 12th record, the limit is exceeded. In the third example, there are erroneous dates on the employee file. Some hire dates are earlier than birth dates. A simple date compare will not work because the dates have different formats. Here we will compare two character fields on the same record using one global field. Extra operations will be needed because of the differing date formats. We first define a global field to contain the date of birth. We then go to the Formatted Selection Criteria area. Then to the Global Fields area. And then go to the Global Fields Change area. We enter the FF relational operator. Recall that the dates to be compared have different formats. To rearrange the components of the date of birth, we will extract and reorder the years, months, and days as shown here. We select the date of birth field, then limit the returned characters to the years with the substring operator. We then specify the concatenation operator, which is built by using two adjacent vertical bars or pipes. When these entries are complete, press Enter. We see the partial expression to the upper left. Now we add similar selections for the months and again press Enter. The partial expression is now longer but not yet complete. We add the final selection for days and press Enter. The expression is now complete, and we may enter End or press F3 to continue. We see the encoded expression, then enter End or press F3 to continue. Next, we insert another selection level. We see the confirmation messages, then enter the FF relational operator for the hire date. We enter the less than operator and select the global field for the comparison value. Pressing Enter places the expression to the upper left. We then enter END or press F3 to continue. We see the encoded expression and then enter END or press F3 to continue. The status confirms one global field and two selection sets. Again, we enter END or press F3 to continue. We see that 3 records were selected. Changing to vertically formatted mode, we see that in all cases the hire dates are earlier than the birth dates. This concludes this module. Thank you.